He's not coming. Certainly not there.
We did go to I don't remember if they won or lost. I don't remember who they played.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this nice December evening. We have not met in a couple of weeks because we canceled a meeting around the Thanksgiving holiday, and we will be canceling the next meeting around the Christmas holiday. So we got a lot to do, a lot of good things to do, a lot of things to celebrate, which is awesome. I appreciate trustees joining, our department heads, and everyone in the audience. As always, the video of this meeting is being broadcast live on YouTube and will also be available on Facebook and posted to the village website. At this time, I would ask Clerk Saladino to call the roll.
Trustee Augustine.
Here.
Trustee Gale is absent. Trustee Katinik.
Here.
Trustee McGee.
Here.
Trustee O'Brien.
Here.
Trustee Peterson.
Here.
President Kukor.
Here. And Trustee Gale is missing due to a family medical issue, and we hear everybody's doing well, and that's wonderful. At this time, I would ask Chief Vavra, our fire chief, and his granddaughter Charlotte to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Charlotte, before you sit down, that's a great job. Tell us where you go to school and who your teacher is.
Pewtown Elementary.
And who's your teacher?
Mrs. Norvillis.
Well, she's doing a great job because you did a great job with the Pledge of Allegiance, so thank you very much. We're going to start today's meeting with, looking for my stuff. With a public hearing regarding the proposed 2022 village property tax levy. Not mine. Okay. The preliminary 2022 village property tax levy was reviewed and discussed in detail at the November 14th, 2022 village board meeting. As part of this review, it was determined that the increase in the levy would not exceed the truth in taxation requirements requiring the village to hold a public hearing. However, to maintain transparency and full disclosure, a public hearing is being held tonight in order to provide residents with an opportunity to comment on the proposed 2022 property tax levy. A notice of the public hearing has been posted and published in accordance with the state statute. After all oral and written comments have been heard, it will be appropriate for the village president, myself, to adjourn the public hearing. So first off, have we received any written comments?
No, we have not, Mr. President.
Thank you. And at this time, I would invite anybody that would like to comment regarding the 2022 village property tax levy to come to the podium. Seeing none, I would ask, do any of the trustees have any comments before we end this public session? Seeing none, we just end the public session, is that correct? Or, oh, I got some special things. After arguments, with no further comments, the village property tax levy public hearing is closed. And we will resume the regular meeting, noting that everybody is still in attendance. Thank you. So moving on to our regular meeting, which is a great way to start out. First, I'd like to give a brief update on the quarry litigation. Since our last meeting, all the testimony has been completed. The judge requested proposed findings and a statement of the law that was due today, and both parties submitted their briefs. The matter's next up on December 22nd for closing arguments. It's possible, hopeful, that the judge will issue at least an oral ruling at that time. He will probably also take time to issue a written order, and that hopefully would be by mid-January. But again, we're hopeful that come December 22nd, we may get a feeling on which way the judge is going to rule. So that's the hope. We also have been continuing to work with MWRD, the Department of Transportation, and Cook County to implement other projects in other areas of the village to make sure that we're doing everything we can on flood mitigation. I want to congratulate and thank the LGBA for a very successful holiday walk that happened on Saturday, December 3rd. We were able to have the Duback family lead us in lighting the Christmas tree, which was wonderful. It was very festive. It did highlight our downtown. And with the trolleys, we also highlighted the West End, which was wonderful. Businesses opened their doors, provided generous giveaways, promotions, and they displayed their appreciation to our wonderful community. We had Santa and Mrs. Claus, live music, a petting zoo, and various ice displays, ice sculptures. We also want to thank Peggy Medeiros, who donated the large tree that we have out in front and decorated so nicely, and the Brookfield Tree Service for donating their services to take it down and place it in our Village Hall campus. Obviously, an incredible amount of time and effort was put in by Nancy Cummings and the LGBA board, the LGBA staff. We appreciate that. Our Public Works always does such a great job. We appreciate that, as well as our police that make sure patrol and everything's safe. Of course, our fire department delivered Santa and Mrs. Claus, so they maybe had the most important job, and we thank you for your efforts in that regard. On behalf of the village board and staff, we wish everyone a very happy and healthy holiday season. And again, please continue to shop and dine in LaGrange. For more information on the holiday promotions, including our online digital holiday wish book, please visit lagrangeevents.com. The Holiday Wish Book has a lot of gift suggestions. You can find something for everybody on your list right there, and they make it very easy for you to order. So please go to lagrangeevents.com. I'm happy to announce and appreciate Lou Ciparrone's and Joe's help in this regard, the Distinguished Budget Award. It's our 28th consecutive year. The village has been awarded the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. Fantastic. Congratulations and thank you. The GFOA guidelines assess how well the village budget serves as a policy document, a financial plan, and operations guide, as well as a communication device so our residents know where their tax dollars are being spent. It's a significant accomplishment, as LaGrange is one of only 1,700 entities throughout the United States and Canada who are presented with this prestigious award. As a frame of reference, there's over 6,000 units of government in Illinois alone. And again, I want to recognize Lou Ciparrone and Joe Menuza. They really are the ones that put together all the documents and make sure that we're on the straight and narrow and informing everybody. So thank you so much. Moving on, the police department toy drive. The LaGrange Police Department will again hold a toy drive to help children in need this holiday season. A drop box is located in the lobby of the police department for donated toys. The toys will all be donated to All Children's Advocacy Center, which works closely with the police department to assist children in need. So please be generous, and the toys will go to a good use. Toys can still be delivered all the way up till December 20th. Please bring unwrapped toys to the police department lobby up to December 20th. I'm also excited to be able to announce that the police department received the Illinois Department of Accreditation Award, the ILEAP accreditation, which is a phenomenal thing. It's my understanding it's the first time that our police department is going to be accredited. And I'm going to ask Chief Orla to explain a little bit more, but please tell everybody that was involved. And former police chief Jason Cates, I know, was instrumental. Others, and you can make sure they get recognized because it's such a fantastic thing.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. As part of the village's 2021 strategic plan, one of the police department goal under delivery of core services was to seek state-level accreditation. In December 2021, department staff started the process of seeking state-level Tier 1 accreditation under the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, referred to as ILEAP. Staff conducted an in-depth review of all department policies and made necessary changes to policies following recommended best practices under ILEAP and the Illinois Police Accreditation Coalition, which are also Safety Act compliant. Some of the changes necessary to seek Tier 1 state-level accreditation required a complete audit of the police department's property and evidence management system, training of personnel, purchase of equipment, and providing proofs of compliance. In late November 2022, the LaGrange Police Department underwent an on-site evaluation through ILEAP. The assessment included a review of 67 policies with supporting proofs, ride-alongs with officers, interview of various department personnel, as well as village personnel, and a tour and inspection of the department. On December 9, 2022, the LaGrange Police Department received a letter from the ILEAP Council announcing that the LaGrange Police Department was unanimously recognized for accreditation at the Tier 1 level. The process has already been started to seek state-level Tier 2 accreditation and eventually accreditation at the national level. We are committed to advancing as a professional organization in order to better serve the needs of the community. A lot of members went in, assisted in this program, being former Chief Cates, Assistant Director Tammy Madden, Sergeant Ken Ewer, as well as other sergeants and other officers of the program, and I'm deeply in great gratitude of the work that they performed for this organization and this village. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and please give our congratulations to the whole department. That's fantastic, and we're happy to have the accreditation. That's wonderful. Moving on to great news, we're here to recognize Captain Jeff Beeland of our fire department. If Captain Beeland can come up to the microphone so that we can appropriately recognize him. Captain Beeland has reached a milestone in his career with the village and fire department. On December 15th, 2022, Captain Beeland will have completed 25 years of service with the Grange Fire Department. It's a great accomplishment. Thanks for all that you've done in that 25 years. He was previously a member of the Leyden Fire Department as a paid on-call member. He began his career with Leyden Fire Department in July of 1993. In LaGrange, Jeff began his career as a firefighter paramedic on December 15th, 1997. He was promoted to lieutenant on October 11th, 2010. Then beginning on August 1, 2016, Jeff served as acting captain in our fire department. Jeff was promoted to captain on July 19th of this year. Jeff has distinguished himself during his career by continuing to educate himself in fire science subjects and specialties. He is certified as an advanced firefighter and fire officer too. He's also certified as a technician in the roadway extrication and hazardous materials. Additionally, Jeff was appointed to represent the fire department on the Employee Safety Committee, where his insights have been valued for over 5 years. Jeff is currently an Illinois certified paramedic. Jeff, his wife Amy, and their son AJ currently reside in Downers Grove. So please join me in recognizing Captain Jeff Beeland for his 25 years of dedicated service to the village. Jeff, feel free to say anything if you'd like. Not to put you on the spot, you don't have to, but.
Thank you for the recognition. I'll just say that, 25 years, as we were speaking prior to, 25 years goes by in a blink of an eye. It's every single day is something different and something new, which keeps you on your toes, and that's what makes this the greatest job in the world. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Captain Beeland. And the board does recognize that every day for our fire department, our police department, our public works, there's something new, there's something different. No 2 days are alike, except all the time, every day, day in and day out, these men and women come to work, risk their lives for our benefit, and really are always professional. So we appreciate everybody. Jeff, it's a great accomplishment. We appreciate your dedication and service. So thank you very much. Moving on to a lot of years of dedication and service. It is my honor to be able to do a resolution of appreciation for Fire Chief Terrence Vavra. As many people know, Terry's going to be retiring at the end of the year due to state statute. Requires an age out. And so Terry's reaches that milestone on January 1, and he's joined, as you saw, by Charlotte and his wife, Chris, and I think some other grandchildren also. So we appreciate them coming. At this time, I would like to read the resolution of appreciation. Whereas Terry Vavra joined the LaGrange Fire Department as fire chief on June 24th, 2019, after serving over 40 years in the fire service in other jurisdictions. Whereas Terry skillfully led the fire department through the unprecedented crisis of COVID-19 pandemic, including securing reimbursement for emergency medical supplies, equipment, and labor expenses through the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security, the CARES Act, and Federal Emergency Management Agency. Whereas Terry undertook many impactful projects during his tenure, including implementing the Federal Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Program for Medicaid ambulance billing, resulting in an enhanced revenue to support our public safety operations. renovating the fire station kitchen and bunk room. Work in progress, but he's done a lot to move that forward. Participating in the regional mutual aid box alarm system, and collaborating with community organizations on the Pet Parade, Endless Summer, Holiday Walk, and other community events. Whereas Terry was an integral part of the village management and emergency response teams, and whereas Terry provided excellent service to the residents of LaGrange through his dedication, compassion, and service-oriented approach, and was unwavering advocate for the LaGrange Fire Department. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mark Kukler, Village of LaGrange, on behalf of the Village Board of Trustees, the Village Clerk, the entire staff of the village, and all village residents, do hereby commend and thank Terry Vavra for his outstanding service and commitment for the Village of LaGrange, and convey our most sincere best wishes on his future endeavors. And so I'll just ask all the trustees for a voice vote in recognizing this resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
And I knew that would be unanimous. Chief, we appreciate your efforts. You led LaGrange during some difficult times with COVID. You were always professional, made sure that our department was respected by the neighboring villages, that our men were able to assist in their emergencies, as well as protecting our residents, our businesses, and our guests. Thanks very much. I spoke with Dr. Vavra, no relation, but at Loyola Hospital. He wanted me to express to you how much he enjoyed working with you and all that you've done. I know that from the Endless Summer, working with the carnival operators, how they said that you were one of the most knowledgeable people in coming in and inspecting them and laying out what you needed to make sure that everybody was safe. You have a lot of talents. Your talents will be missed. I have a feeling that they'll still be used someplace, and we wish you all the best. But at this time, I would open it up to any trustee comments. Anyone? Trustee Kotinik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, Chief Vavra, I start out by offering a sincere thanks to you for your service to LaGrange. I have the utmost respect for the firefighters, not only in our community, but nationwide, also to the police department as well. But the firefighters, there's a certain fabric in the DNA, a commitment, a camaraderie that you don't see in many other workplaces. And you embody that spirit, that characteristic, those qualities, and your leadership has been very well appreciated and outstanding during your tenure here. It's been 2.5 years. It seems just like a blink of an eye that time has gone by. And over that time, I truly appreciate the friendship that you've offered to me. Always find it very easy just to come up to you and have a short but nice conversation. Appreciate your politeness, your professionalism, and I'll certainly miss you. So I again thank you for your service to the village, to the residents. I wish you well on your next journey, and again thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Trustee Kotinik. Trustee Augustin.
Thank you, President Kukler. I'm sad to see you go. I am glad that we have a little bit more time with you and a little going away party to come. Or I don't know if I could keep composed here. What's been said is all true. What I admire most and have enjoyed most beyond your skills and capabilities is your sense of humor. And I've been made, no, the wife does not. It's great. I don't know how. Well, it's been lovely to have here. And very, very, very kind spirit. And I've seen you at fires under very adverse conditions, making people feel better than they otherwise could have in those tough circumstances. And you showed great leadership and kindness. And anywhere I've seen you in the public, you just interact with the community so well. And that's a big part of the job. So it makes LaGrange look good, and I really, really appreciate it. I guess you have to retire at 65, but it's a really big shame for us because there is truly no one more young at heart than you, and you will be greatly missed. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Trustee Peterson?
Thank you, President Kukler. I want to add my thanks too. I have not been working or sitting here very long, but I worked with you, and it was a pleasure. And it really was. It was a pleasure to work with you. It was a pleasure to come to the fire open house. Everyone there was very friendly, very welcoming to the community. It was really a pleasure to see, and we will miss you. I personally will. You've extended a welcome to me, and that was deeply appreciated. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson. Trustee McGee.
Chief Favre, I haven't had the opportunity of working with you as in the role of a trustee for many years, but I have had the pleasure of meeting you on several occasions as a community leader, and I agree with the trustees as they've stated. You've always represented the village excuse me, in a very positive manner. You've been just an excellent village representative. On many occasions, I've seen you in community events, and I was proud to know that you were the chief of our fire department. And I wish you and your family the best of luck. Enjoy these years and being home and spending time with that grandbaby, because grandbabies are very, very special. You're a very lucky man. So God bless you and best wishes to you.
Thank you, Trustee McGee. Trustee O'Brien.
And I'll close with, thank you very much for all you have done for us. I've only been involved for about a year, and you've been a wealth of knowledge. You've been a lot of help. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Good luck in the future.
Thank you, Trustee O'Brien. And Chief Favre, we would invite you to come up to the podium if you have a few words to say, and feel free to introduce the whole family. And then when you're done, we have a plaque to provide you with.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I don't know if they're all true, but it's been my honor to be a part of this fine department for the last 3 years. I knew I was coming to a special place the night I was sworn in, and Chris will remember this night. I stood right in that area, and almost the entire department, all the people that are here right now and many more, stood there with me while I was being sworn in, and I'll never, ever forget that night. That told me a lot about the character of this department, and that they supported me, and that support has never wavered in the time I've been here. This village has some of the finest people that I've ever worked with. And I'm not talking about just their technical expertise, because they are all technically superior. It's the character and integrity that they exhibit every day. I've watched them care for an injured person, and I've watched them talk to children and adults at the annual open house. They exude a pride in the service. Jeff talked about it. It's so admirable, the quality of the people that we have here. And it's not because of me. It's because of the leadership that came before me, and I am so grateful because it made my job very, very easy. I've also been able to work with some great leaders, board members of this village, previous ones as well. Mr. Livingston was a wealth of knowledge about leadership as far as I was concerned. And the department heads that I've had just the pleasure and the joy of working with, every single one of them has a dedication to this village that is unmarked amongst places I've worked, and I've enjoyed the camaraderie that we've had. Jason Cates was a little rough on me, but other than that, it's been great, and the support of the board has been incredible. I'd be remiss if I did not mention the people that guided me in the decades before LaGrange. And as Mr. Kukler said, it was more than 40 years before I came here. I've worked in 4 departments in my career, and I can point to people that shaped my leadership style, good and bad, and they've supported me and followed me as I've moved through the ups and downs of this career. Finally, I'd like to thank probably the most precious group of people in my life, my family. I was raised by 2 wonderful people who instilled a set of values and principles in my brothers and sisters and I, and that was focused on service to others. I'm blessed with 2 beautiful daughters, Jennifer, who's here, wave your hand, and Kimmy. Kimmy's coming back from her honeymoon tomorrow, who've made my life a joy. I'm also lucky to have 2 granddaughters, Abigail, and she met Charlotte, the shy one. They've caused my heart to grow more than I ever thought possible, and to your point, grandchildren are the only reason to have children, is what I always say. But just when you can't think you could love anymore, they come along. And finally, I have the best partner anyone could ask for, my wife, Chris, who has put up with a lot of moving over the past several years, but always was my rock to fall back on when things got tough. Many situations are discussed with her. She tells me exactly how to do it, and most of the time I follow those guidelines. Tomorrow will be my anniversary in the fire service. I've been in the fire service for 46 years. And as I say to most people, Confucius says a man who loves his job will never work a day in his life. I have never worked a day in my life. I have loved every minute of this. I am so happy that I've had this department to end my career on, because it's truly, truly a special place, and I really do appreciate all the support I've gotten from the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Whenever you're ready. And again, thank you to the men of the fire department. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate you coming out here and support of Chief Avra. We also appreciate that retired Chief Don Gay came out tonight. Thank you very much, and thanks for all the work you do and continue to do for the village of LaGrange. With Chief Terry Vavra's retirement at the end of December, the village board has considered prospective candidates to serve as an interim fire chief. The interim fire chief will work closely with all members of the fire department to execute assigned fire department priorities, while the village manager's office conducts a search for a candidate to serve as our permanent fire chief. John Buckley, formerly of the Pleasant View Fire Department Fire Protection District, is identified as the candidate who would best meet the village's needs at this time. He possesses excellent qualifications and understands and has demonstrated management leadership over the course of his career. Mr. Buckley has over 33 years of experience in fire service, working his way through the ranks, including Deputy Fire Chief and Fire Chief/Chief Administrator for the Pleasant View Fire Protection District. Since last year, Mr. Buckley now provides interim fire services for organizations such as Grange. He has a bachelor's degree in fire service administration and a master's degree in public safety administration. As this is a temporary appointment, the services of interim fire chief are proposed to be provided through an independent contractor agreement. As an independent contractor, the position will receive a weekly rate, prorated for partial weeks of service due to vacation or illness. The position will not be eligible for benefits such as health insurance, paid leave of absences, or pension payments. The agreement will commence on January 1, 2023, and expire on or about June 30th, 2023, or earlier or later if necessary. I'm pleased to present John Buckley to the village board, the community, the men and women of the fire department for consideration as interim fire chief. And I recommend that the village approve the agreement to formalize his appointment. So I would request a voice vote to appoint John Buckley as interim fire chief. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the appointment of John Buckley as interim fire chief passes unanimously. I will now ask the board for a motion and a second to approve the letter agreement and business associate agreement hiring John Buckley as our interim fire chief.
I'll make a motion to approve the said agreement for John Buckley as fire chief, interim fire chief of LaGrange.
Thank you, Trustee Kotinik.
A second.
Thank you, Trustee McGee. Trustee Kotinik making the motion. Trustee McGee seconding. Are there any questions, discussions with regard to the agreement hiring John Buckley? Seeing none, I would ask Clerk Saladino to call a roll call vote.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes. Aye.
Trustee Kotinik?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee Gale is absent.
And that passes unanimously. We are not done with appointments, though. As everyone knows, since the summer, Charity Jones has been acting as our acting village manager and has done an absolute fabulous job, has made sure that the village continued to run well, and not only that, made sure that everybody that was working underneath her had the tools that they needed to do their job, that they were able to do the job to the best of their abilities, as well as coming to work every day with a little bit of a spring in their step. And I think you did a great job, Charity, in that regard. She was a tireless worker, a very fine administrator, and I do appreciate that and would ask the board to join me in a round of applause for Charity. I guess we can stand up and join Fire Chief Gale, Fire Chief Alva. Being village manager is a lot of work, a lot of hours, and Charity has two young daughters at home that do like to see their mother. So we're happy that she'll be moving to an assistant village manager position and still continuing with community development and hopefully be able to tuck in her daughters at night and things of that nature. So thanks for the sacrifices. We appreciate it. And now I'm pleased to move to the appointment of Jack Knight as village manager for the village of LaGrange. Jack has served for over 17 years in local government, all within the Illinois municipalities. He most recently served as assistant village manager in the village of Lisle, where he helped shepherd a successful transformation of the organization, focusing on efficiently providing modern services desired by residents and other stakeholders. There, he also contributed to the formulation of 2 strategic plans and the formulating of several long-term capital plans, including water and sewer, bicycle and pedestrian, and information technology plans. Prior to serving Lyle, Jack served in the village of Woodridge for 9 years, acting in a variety of capacities, including management analyst, deputy village clerk, and assistant to the village administrator. He began his career in municipal government as assistant to the mayor in Orland Park, which is the village where he grew up. Jack belongs to the International City County Management Association, the Illinois City County Management Association, and the Illinois Municipal Management Assistance Association, where he previously served as president. He earned his bachelor's degree at Loras College and a master's degree in public affairs at Indiana University. I, therefore, would entertain a motion to consent to the appointment of Jack Knight as the village manager for the village of LaGrange, effective tomorrow, December 13th, conditioned on the village and Mr. Knight entering into the employment agreement, and thereafter ask the village clerk to administer oath of office. All, I think, done tonight, correct? In addition, the village has negotiated an employment agreement with Mr. Knight. The employment agreement sets forth the terms of Jack's employment and compensation. It provides for a term of employment that runs through the end of my term of office and includes severance provisions that are consistent with the Government Severance Pay Act, which is 5 ILCS 415. At this time, I would entertain a motion for the appointment of Jack Knight.
I'm happy to make the motion to appoint Jack Knight as the new village manager of LaGrange, effective tomorrow, December 13th, 2022.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Kutinik and Trustee Augustine. And for that, I believe I can just have a voice vote. So all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And of course, it passes unanimously. Now we have, I need a motion and a second to approve the employment agreement for village manager.
I'll make the motion to approve the village employment agreement with Jack Knight.
In a second?
Second.
And thank you, Trustee Kutinik and Trustee Peterson. And I would ask Clerk Saladino for a roll call vote.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee Kutinik?
Aye.
Trustee Gale is absent.
And that, of course, passes unanimously. Jack, welcome to the village. We appreciate you coming on board. We're looking forward to it. So at this time, I would invite you and your wife, Rafaela, to come on up to be sworn in as village manager.
Okay, your show.
Raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I, Jack Knight,
I, Jack Knight,
having been appointed
to
the office of village manager
the office of village manager
in the village of LaGrange
in the village of LaGrange
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
of
village manager
village manager
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I'll get this back to you in a second.
And then hopefully Jack can introduce himself to the village.
Yeah, Yeah, well, good evening, everybody. I'm going to keep it very brief. Just wanted to thank you, President Kukler and the Village Board for the opportunity. Looking forward to serving the LaGrange community. Looking forward to working with what is an awesome team. I'm very excited to get started at work here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And then I would just conclude with wishing everybody happy holidays. Excited about the new year. I know it's going to be a great year for LaGrange. Everybody, please be safe. Is there a village manager report?
Just a brief report this evening. The Village Hall will be closed on Monday, December 26th and Monday, January 2nd for the holidays. Regular business hours will resume the following Tuesdays. However, a number of online service options are available to residents at any time, and as always, a full complement of public safety personnel will be available in the event of an emergency. Due to the holidays, refuse service will be pushed back one day for all residents. More information is available on our website. Also, holiday trees are scheduled to be picked up beginning January 3rd until January 12th. Please remove all ornaments, tinsel, and lights. No stickers are required. Holiday lights may be recycled in 7 receptacles located in LaGrange and LaGrange Park, including the lower level lobby of Village Hall, the LaGrange Park Village Hall, the LaGrange Parking Garage, the LaGrange Public Library, and the Park District of LaGrange. A list of holiday items that can be recycled in the village's curbside collection program and more information about holiday refuse services is available on our website, lagrangeil.gov. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Still Acting Manager Jones. At this time, I would ask Clerk Saladino to read the items on the consent portion of the agenda, followed by matters on the current business.
Matters on the consent agenda will be considered by a single motion and vote because they already have been considered fully by the board at a previous meeting or have been determined to be of a routine nature. Any member of the Board of Trustees may request that an item be moved from the consent agenda to current business for separate consideration. Item A, ordinance. Design review permit number 117 for 23 West Callender Avenue, Brianna and Jonathan Cowan. Item B, purchase. Public Works, fiscal year 2022-23, equipment replacement fund. Step van, pickup truck, and 2 tractors. Ordinance, disposal of vehicles. Item C, contract. Approval of amendment number 2 to lease agreement with Sprintcom LLC. Item D, contract. GIS Consortium Service Provider 2023 contract renewal. Item E, purchase. Fire Department, reserve ambulance. Ordinance, disposal of vehicle. Item F, resolution, designating village manager as authorized signatory on village accounts. Item G, ordinance, disposal of surplus property, police department. Item H, minutes of the Village of LaGrange Board of Trustees closed session, Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Item I, minutes of the Village of LaGrange Board of Trustees regular meeting, Monday, November 14th, 2022. Item J, consolidated voucher 221128. Item K, consolidated voucher 221212. Current business. This agenda item includes consideration of matters being presented to the Board of Trustees for action. Item A, ordinance, abatement of 2022 tax levy, general obligation, alternate revenue water bonds, Series 2012A. Item B, ordinance, abatement of 2022 tax levy, general obligation, alternate revenue sewer bonds, Series 2015. Item C, acceptance of resolution, library board tax levy request. Item D, ordinance, 2022 property tax levy for village operations. Item E, intergovernmental agreement, Regional Transportation Authority, award of contract Comprehensive Plan and BNSF Corridor Subarea Plan Update. That's it.
Thank you, Clerk Saladino. At this time, I would invite anybody in the audience that has any comments on matters on our tonight's agenda to please come forward.
Good evening, President Kukler and trustees. My name is Peg Moster, and I'm here with Lori Sinden and Janice Miller. We are longtime residents of LaGrange, and we are also members of the League of Women Voters, the LaGrange chapter. And we were very interested when we saw it was announced earlier this year that the village received the Regional Transportation Grant, enabling the updating of the village's comprehensive plan focused on transit-oriented development, particularly in the West End. We've been working on a league committee studying housing for the last 2 years, and we're very hopeful that within the new plan, there will be language and commensurate action to address housing options for people in all stations and stages of life here in LaGrange. From those older residents, myself included, who may be thinking of downsizing but want to stay in LaGrange, or for those just beginning to raise families who are in need of starter homes, many of whom were raised in LaGrange and would like to raise their children here as well. From tonight's agenda, it appears that you'll be taking a vote on a contract for a consulting firm who, we understand, will work with you to design the methodologies for gathering input from the community. We appreciate that you're looking for that input from those of us who live here. Our League Housing Committee is available to provide you and your consultants with the information we've gathered over the course of our studies, and we'll be happy to share that with our information, our contact information with you at your convenience. Thank you again. We look forward to being involved in the process of creating a new village plan.
And thank you to all the work that the league does throughout the year. We do appreciate it. And I would invite up Brianna and Jonathan Cowan, or one of them, to tell us about their exciting new business coming into LaGrange, which is item A on the consent.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us out tonight. My wife, Brianna, right here. I'm Jonathan. We started Wooden Paddle in 2013. Started in Orland Park, Illinois. We had 0 seats there. Over the years, we decided we wanted to open a place with seating, so we bought a building in Lamont in 2017. Been operating there from 2018 to now, and we plan on keeping that location open. It's thriving over there. We're very happy to be there, but we're extremely excited to be a part of this community here. The first time we ever stepped foot in LaGrange was 2011. At that time, we would work about 80 hours a week making every pizza at our first restaurant before Wooden Paddle, and we got a day off, and we made a trip down here and went to Jackson Square Antique Mall, walked around, and just, we were kind of like blown away. We were like, this is really cool. We grew up in the Northwest Burbs. We didn't really have anything like this up there. So it was kind of like a aspirational type place to be. And when we were looking for a building to buy in 2017, it just didn't seem, it wasn't a possibility to come here. And we're thankful to be in Lamont and what we found there, but we're pretty happy to have had some success in business that we can now do this thing here. So I'm really thankful for how easy it's been to work with the village so far. We hope to keep that going. Just a little bit of background, or I gave you some background, but my restaurant, we specialize in small plates, shareable food at the restaurant. We cook wood-fired pizza in a hot oven. We do craft cocktails at our restaurant. Another thing our restaurant does is we have a mobile catering branch of our business that caters weddings all around Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana. And we've catered over 250 weddings since we started doing that in 2014. We started Wooden Paddle with about 6 employees. Now we have about 75 employees, and we hope to hire around 75 employees here in LaGrange. So that's cool. And on the second level of that building at 23 Calendar, we plan on putting an event space where we can take our knowledge of the wedding industry and do events on that second level. So yes, we're just thankful that that building is for sale. It's a gorgeous 1920s building, beautifully built. We're big into history and local history, and I just love the facade of that. Just really excited to, keep it healthy over these years and be a part of that. And I hope I covered everything. I didn't have notes like everybody. Next time I'll do that. But we're very excited, so thank you.
Well, Jonathan, thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. We do appreciate the work you've done with our staff. We appreciate the investment that you're making into LaGrange. We encourage you to join the LGBA, our strong partner, and they represent and advocate for the businesses. And we have a wonderful historical society, so you should work with them also. They can tell you a lot about your building and things like that. So they're great resources available. But welcome to town, both of you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Seeing no other comments on matters on tonight's agenda, I would ask if there's any trustee comments. Or I guess a motion on the consent agenda first. So a motion on the consent agenda followed by a second.
Okay, I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Trustee Kotinik. Thank you, Trustee O'Brien. Any comments, including Trustee Augustine?
Thank you, President Kugler. Yes, as previously stated, I recuse myself from voting on any agenda items related to the village prosecutor. And I do have one comment.
Sure, please.
Sorry, it's for these two guys over here. Kind of. Well, first of all, Lou, thank you I believe you brought or at least invented the ERF, the Equipment Replacement Fund here in LaGrange, correct? Oh, well, you get credit for it. Okay, you've improved it. So it's really helpful for all of our departments. It's an amazing. So thank you again for that, and it worked really well here in this situation with the replacement ambulance. It wasn't quite ready to be replaced. We weren't there. We have the funds to do it, but it would have thrown us off. And through the chief and you and maybe a few others, we've found a replacement that looks fantastic. It's nearby, and we'll be able to bring it in and maintain that ERF and maintain that budget the way it needs to be without having to put forth the hundreds of thousands of dollars it costs to replace that. And we need good ambulances, so good on you guys for getting that done for us. And so, Chief, we've got a new ambulance coming. What do we just need to then peel the Clarendon Hills off and put LaGrange on?
The Clarendon Hills has already been peeled off. We have to put some LaGrange on it and switch some radios, and it's ready to go. It's an excellent vehicle. We need something secure as a second vehicle, and so this came about, and we worked the numbers, and Charity and I met with their staff, and it worked out absolutely perfectly, and it should help us stem the tide.
Well, thanks for doing that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Trustee Kotinik.
Thanks, Mr. President. Real quick for Director Colby, if I could, on item B, the Public Works vehicle replacements. And I'm just reminded, as we sit up here, we continue to need to be green stewards for our village. So, I'm not sure if this is a challenge or as much just of an ask, but in terms of the vehicles we're purchasing, I know most of them are more heavy equipment. Do we look into electric vehicles for those? Are they even available? And again, this is probably more so just to keep it in front of the village as we continue to try to become more green going forward.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you. Yes, we do. For the vehicles we are purchasing, for the most economical and fuel efficient engines are the ones selected, particularly for the F-250 model. They offer that. In these types of vehicles, they don't currently offer EVs. There's one EV Ford truck, but even then it's not currently available and not suited for the Super Duty application that we're currently looking for it. But that factors into all the decisions, and we feel the same way that it's going in that direction, just a matter of when.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Kotinik. Trustee Peterson.
Actually, my comments are echoing Trustee Kotinik. I was pleased to see that I'm reading here, all new vehicles must meet current environmental standards, and staff will continue to look for eco-friendly trucks and options for future purchasing. Coming from the EQC, thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson. If there's no additional comments, I would ask Clerk Saladino for a roll call vote on the consent agenda.
Trustee Peterson.
Aye.
Trustee McGee.
Aye.
Trustee Augustine.
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien.
Aye.
Trustee Katina.
Aye.
And Trustee Gale absent.
And that passes unanimously. Trustee Peterson, do you have your water? Are you ready to go here? We're going to make Trustee Peterson do some work. She's going to earn her keep tonight. We're moving on to current business. We have A, B, C, D, E. So 5 matters that need to be presented, discussed, and voted upon. And starting with 7A, it's the ordinance abatement of the 2022 tax levy general obligation alternate revenue water bonds, Series 2012A, and that will go to Trustee Peterson.
Thank you, President Kukler. In 2012, the village approved 2 significant infrastructure improvements to the village water system. The first improvement provided for the replacement of the village's residential and commercial water meters, all of which had reached the end of their useful life. The second improvement provided for various mechanical and technical upgrades for the village's water pumping station located on East Avenue at Plainfield Road. In order to provide funding for these 2 capital projects, the village board adopted an ordinance on September 10th, 2012, authorizing the issuance of $2.8 million in general obligation alternate revenue water bonds. The Series 2012A water bond issue is a general obligation alternative revenue source issue backed by the full faith and credit of the village. This type of bond issue is payable from the pledged alternate revenues with the full faith and credit of the village acting as backup security. The full faith and credit pledged by the village authorizes Cook County to annually level taxes for the bonds unless an abatement for the specific tax levy year is received. For the Series 2012A water bond issue, the village board has identified revenue derived from water sales as an alternative revenue pledge to pay for principal and interest expenditures relating to this issue. Sufficient monies are budgeted and available within the water fund from water sales in fiscal year 23-24 to pay for this expense. Therefore, it is appropriate to abate the portion of the bonds maturing during fiscal year 2023-24 from the 2022 tax levy. I recommend that the village board adopt the attached ordinance abating taxes levied for the year 2022 with respect to the $2,080,000 general obligation alternative revenue water bonds, Series 2012A, in the amount of $127,630.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson. And is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee McGee. Any discussion on 7A? Trustee Kodanik.
Thanks, Mr. President. Just, Lou, one quick question on all these series of bonds. I assume all of our issuances are 20 years?
Correct.
And then the principal, are those straight line amortization, or is there a balloon at the end, or they're pretty?
It's a straight line amortization across the 20 years.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kodanik. Seeing no other questions, I would ask Clerk Saladino for a roll call vote.
Trustee Augustine.
Aye.
Trustee Katina.
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien.
Aye.
Trustee McGee.
Aye.
Trustee Peterson.
Aye.
And Trustee Gale absent.
And that passes unanimously. Moving on to 7B, The abatement of the 2022 tax levy general obligation alternate revenue sewer bonds, Series 2015. Trustee Peterson.
In 2015, the village board deliberated and subsequently approved a set of revenue enhancements, which in the aggregate enabled the village to address critical sewer needs. In order to provide funding for the sewer improvement projects, the village board adopted an ordinance on August 24, 2015, authorizing the issuance of $14.5 million in general obligation alternate revenue sewer bonds. The Series 2015 sewer bond is general obligation alternate revenue source issue backed by the full faith and credit of the village. This type of bond issue is payable from the pledged alternate revenues with the full faith and credit of the village acting as backup security. The full faith and credit pledged by the village authorizes Cook County to annually level taxes for the sewer bonds unless an abatement for the specific tax levy year is received. For the Series 2015 sewer bond issue, the village board identified revenues derived from non-home rules sales tax, utility tax, telecommunication tax, and sewer sales as the alternative revenues pledged to pay for the principal and interest expenditures relating to this issue. Sufficient monies are budgeted and available within the general fund and sewer fund from the various taxes and sewer sales in fiscal year 2023-24 to pay for this expense. Therefore, it is appropriate to abate the portion of the bonds maturing during fiscal year 2023-24 from the 2022 tax levy. I recommend that the village board adopt the attached ordinance abating taxes levied for the year 2012 with respect to the $14,500,000 general obligation alternate revenue sewer bonds, Series 2015, in the amount of $991,831.26.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson. And a second on that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I'd ask Clerk Saladino for a roll call vote.
Trustee Katina?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee Gale absent.
And that passes unanimously. Moving on, I present the Library Board tax levy request. Referred to Trustee Peterson.
Two to go. The LaGrange Library is a, quote, municipal library, unquote, rather than a separate public library district, and as such must levy property taxes as part of the Village of LaGrange tax levy. It is necessary for Cook County to reduce the property tax levy as a result of the Property Tax Limitation Act. The library tax levy will be reduced in the same proportion as the other village tax levies, which does not affect the village taxing ability for the 2022 extension. The LaGrange Library Board of Trustees 2022 tax levy request for operating purposes is $2,769,651, which is a 4.6% increase, including new growth over last year's tax levy. This amount is less than the allowable 5.6% increase under the Property Tax Limitation Acts and is equal to the increase in the village tax levy request. Representatives from the LaGrange Library are here tonight at the village board meeting to address any questions regarding the library's levy request, and I recommend that the village board accept the attached resolution approval by the library board.
Thank you, Trustee Peterson. And a second on that.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee McGee. Any discussion? Seeing none, I would ask for a roll call vote.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee Katina?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
And Trustee Gale absent.
And that passes unanimously. We'll move on to D, where we'll make Trustee Peterson also introduce the 2022 property tax levy for village operations. And I promise I'll do E if you get through D.
The preliminary 2022 property tax levy was reviewed and discussed in detail at the November 14th, 2022 Village Board meeting. As part of this review, it was determined that the increase in the levy would not exceed truth and taxation requirements requiring the village to hold a public hearing. However, in an ongoing effort to maintain transparency and full disclosure, public hearing was held earlier this evening in order to provide residents with an opportunity to comment on the 2022 property tax levy. Pursuant to direction from the village board, the final 2022 tax levy represents a total increase of 4.6%, exclusive of debt service, over the prior year's tax extension. The property tax increase includes a 4% increase to fund operation, capital expenditures, which is less than the allowable 5% increase under the Property Tax Limitation Act's CPI as of December 2021. The remaining tax levy increase of 0.6% represents estimated new growth of $5 million equalized assessed value from anticipated residential and commercial construction during the next fiscal year. If such new growth does not occur, the property tax bill will automatically be lowered by Cook County. The effect of the 2022 levy will have on an average home with an estimated market value of $500,000 is an increase of $62.13 from the village levy and an increase of $19.65 from the library levy. As part of the annual property tax levy, a special service area 7 levy is filed with Cook County to fund ongoing maintenance of the central business district. By ordinance, the special service area levy is to be adjusted annually by up to the consumer price index. Pursuant to direction from the Village Board of Trustees, the 2022 special service area also reflects an increase of 4% over last year's levy of $99,981. In 2016, the village also approved an ordinance establishing a special service area 9 to provide a reserve fund in the amount of $10,000 for maintenance, repair, construction, replacement, and similar service relating to Uptown LaGrange development sidewalks. Pursuant to the SSA ordinance, special service area ordinance, in subsequent years, the village will discontinue the levy until such time money is expended from the reserve fund, at which time the village will then levy the amount necessary to replenish the reserve fund of $10,000 plus interest at a rate not to exceed 5% per year. As no funds were expended from the reserves for sidewalk maintenance or repairs, the village will not impose a levy for Special Service Area 9 as part of the 2022 property tax levy request to Cook County. I recommend that the Village Board adopt the attached ordinance requesting a 2022 property tax levy of $11,059,433 exclusive of debt service, which is a 4.6% increase from the 2021 tax levy.
Thank you for all that work, Trustee Peterson. And a second on that motion.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee McGee. Any trustee comments on that? Seeing none, I would just like to thank the board for supporting the 4% increase. It is less than the Property Tax Cap Act allows, which is 5%, or the cost of living increase, which was considerably higher than 5%. I'd also like to thank our department heads and all the village staff for their hard work. Obviously, It's high inflationary times. The prices of everything are going up, and through the staff's hard work, we're able to limit at least the increase in property taxes. So I appreciate the board and staff working together on that, and congratulate you all on a great job. With that, Clerk Saladino, a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee Katina?
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee Gale, absent.
And that passes unanimously. Now for the last matter under current business, it's, as the League of Women Voters brought up, the comprehensive plan. On May 9th, 2005, the village adopted its current comprehensive plan and BNSF Railroad Corridor Sub-Area Plan. The comprehensive plan is the official policy to guide to future land use, development, and conservation within the village for a period of 20 years for use by the village board, plan commission, and staff when considering land use changes and capital planning. The village funded the 2005 comprehensive plan in part through a grant from the RTA. The RTA funded the BNS Railroad Corridor Sub-Area Plan portion of the document, which provides policy recommendations for the transit-oriented development area within roughly 1/4 mile of the metro stations, and the village funded the balance of the comprehensive plan. As the 20-year period of the current comprehensive plan is nearing an end, and consistent with the objectives of the village board's strategic plan, the village applied for and was granted funds from the RTA to update the BNSF Railroad Corridor Sub-Area Plan. On May 23rd of 2022, the village approved Resolution R22-606, accepting the grant from the RTA. In May, RTA identified a total project cost of up to $100,000 to update the BNSF Corridor Sub-Area Plan. The RTA requires that the village provide a 20% match for grant funds. Additionally, the village is responsible for any costs above the identified total project costs, including the cost to update the balance of the comprehensive plan. The village has budgeted $125,000 in the adopted fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the comprehensive plan update. Attachment 1 contains the intergovernmental agreement to authorize the village to use the accepted grant funds from the RTA for the BNSF corridor sub-area. The IGA also identifies the village's reporting requirements for use of the grant funds because the village is managing the project. After the village accepted the grant funds in May, the village and the RTA staff developed a request for proposals. The request for proposal was issued on September 6th. 6 responses were received by the deadline. Guided by the criteria of the request for proposal, village staff, RTA staff, and the Plan Commission chairman evaluated all written proposals and identified 3 finalists. Staff then conducted reference checks on the 3 finalists. Based on scoring criteria and reference checks, the village staff, RTA staff, and Plan Commission chairman are recommending that the village board enter into an agreement with Tesca Associates. The agreement is included in attachment 2 for the village board's consideration. The budget on the preferred consultant's proposal and summary of the anticipated costs of the comprehensive plan are in a table that's been provided to the board, showing the village share being $123,320, the RTA's total share being $71,680, and the total project cost being $195,000. As the grant from the RTA will cover 80% of the costs, again, the RTA's will be $71,680. The RTA has awarded up to $80,000 for their plan. The total village expenses, again, will be $123,320. Next steps, upon contract execution, Tesca intends to begin work promptly. The estimated completion time for the project is 14 months. As such, costs related to the project will fall in both fiscal years 2022 and 23 and fiscal year 23-24. A budget amendment will be required to reallocate the remaining funds to fiscal year 23-24. The village attorney, Ben Schuster, has reviewed the attached intergovernmental agreement and prepared the attached professional services agreement with Tesca Associates. Staff recommends that the village board approve the agreement with the RTA and Tesca, and at this time, I would ask a trustee to entertain such a motion. And I'll wait.
I'll motion for the award of the contract.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine, and a second on that.
So before we, on the motion, to be clear, there's two different agreements. And so the motion should either be one motion to approve both agreements, one, the IGA with the RTA, and the other being the professional services agreement, or you can take it in two separate votes.
I'm fine with the together.
Okay. I'd like to motion for both together to be accepted.
A second.
And any discussion regarding the motion? Seeing none, I would ask Clerk Saladino for a roll call vote.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee Katina?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee Gale absent.
And that passes unanimously. At this time, I would ask if there's any comments from the public on matters not on tonight's agenda. Seeing none, I would ask if there's any trustee comments. Trustee Augustine.
Thank you, President Kukler. Just using this end of year, last meeting of the year to express how grateful I am at all the great work that this town, that this village has done just in this last calendar year. How resourceful we've been with parking collaborations that are looking fairly successful to this point. The opening of our theater, reopening of our theater, I should say, has been wonderful. And if anyone saw the news about what's going on in Park Ridge lately, they'll appreciate what we have even more. The hard work we've done to address flooding and the much harder work ahead that we'll all have. We seem very poised for success with staff and energy, and very proud of the way this village has been able to work as a great team to do everything we needed to do with the challenges with which it was presented. And it's been a tough but good year. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Seeing no other trustee comments, I would ask for a motion to adjourn in a second.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Katina.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee O'Brien. All in favor for adjourning at 8:52, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And thank you. That passes unanimously. The meeting is over. We are not meeting on December 26th, but we'll be back on January, I think it's 12th. So thank you very much. Happy holidays. Be safe. January 9th will be the next meeting. Don't show up on the 12th. Come here on the 9th.